Greetings to you, my friends. Today we want to look at how to control the mind. How to control the mind. How to stop the negative thoughts and how to promote the beautiful thoughts. How to control the mind. The mind is the most influential tool that human possess. It can be used to help you attain success, or it can take you to the abyss of doom. Your ability to live your life to optimal level depends on how you employ your mind. Success or failure starts in the mind. God has not created any man to fail, but He has given all men the power of choice. The choice you make is a product of the development of your mind. If you don't become the master of your mind, it will be dominated by the flesh and it will rule you. Every man is programmed by the flesh because of the fall in Eden to think negatively. What you think about is what you will be or you will bring about in your life. You must see yourself as who you want to become. Negative thoughts come according to situations. To some people, it becomes so vivid. It becomes so vivid that they start seeing pictures right before them. Some will even start hearing voices, ordering them to do things. Haven't you heard of people say that they hear voices telling them to do things? Or some of them will say they hear voices telling them to jump into river. Some will say, pick the knife and stab your wife. Some will say they know in their mind that they will not succeed in life. Some will say they cannot do something ever. And do you know what? Their thought will control their being, and that thing will be impossible for them to achieve. A friend told me that as he was cutting the grass around his house some few days ago, he started thinking there could be snakes around there. And you know what? A few minutes later, he saw a snake running away. The power of the human mind, the power of the human thought. You must find a way to control your thought because they become what you are. Concerning how to use your mind, I hear different languages that use your church mind, meaning you can control your mind. If they say use your church mind, it means you can control your mind. I found out that when many people are referring to the mind, they kind of touch their chest, thinking the mind is inside the chest. Some think the mind and the heart are the same thing. A lot of us have wrong education about the mind. Now, where is the mind located? The brain, the human brain, is the organ of the mind, just as the lungs are the organs of respiration. Today, permit me to open your eyes to some realities about the mind and how you can control it. According to John Seeley, in his work, 7 Ways to Take Control of Your Mind, during the day, negative thinking is more manageable. You are distracted by work, by family, by responsibilities. When night comes, you think you are okay, as if there is no problem any longer. You fall asleep, but 4 hours later, you are jolted awake, staring into darkness. That's when you lose control. Your twisted thoughts distort reality, not knowing what to do. You sit back and watch horror movie played in your mind, helplessly and spiraling out of control. You try hard, but you can't stop the frightening images your imagination has created. Since negative thoughts are sneaky and they appear in disguise, they show up as fear, doubt, or anxiety. Just one small thought and your imagination is triggered, tumbling into a wild cyclone that knocks off your feeling, it knocks you off your feet. It doesn't have to be that way, sincerely. It doesn't have to be that way. You can change your thought process. Now, let us look at this. What is the mind? What is the human mind? Traditionally, scientists have tried to define the mind as the product of the brain activity. The brain is the physical substance, and the mind is the conscious product of those firing neurons, according to the classic argument. But growing evidence have shown that the mind goes far beyond the physical working of your brain. According to Wikipedia, the mind is the set of faculties, including cognitive aspects, such as the consciousness of man, your imagination, your perception, your thinking, intelligence, judgment, language, and memory, as well as non-cognitive aspects such as emotion and instinct. The mind is the element of a person that enables them to be aware of the world and their experiences, to think and to feel, the faculty of consciousness and thought. The mind is so very powerful. The Superbook, that is the Bible, relates to the mind as the headquarters of the body. It says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. That heart in the Bible is the mind. The Superbook also says that we should transform ourselves by renewing of our mind. Renewing in that sense means relearning, changing, knowing more, paradigm shift, leaving the negative old for the positive new. Invariably, the mind is the headquarters of the body. The mind also controls the mind. That is how powerful the mind is. It's a powerful thing. Another issue close to the topic of the mind is the power of the mind. That is the mind power. What is the power of the mind? In his work, Mind Power, The Power of Thought, Remes Sasson, a man I love reading his psychological books, says mind power is the power of thought. It is a creative power which you can use to make changes in your life. It is what makes, what makes the law of attraction works. Mind power is one of the strongest and most powerful, useful powers that human being possess. This power, together with your imagination, can create success or failure, happiness or unhappiness, opportunities or obstacles. Mind power is composed of your attention, your mental images, and your thoughts. Thoughts are energies. This makes you think you can control your mind. You can control your thought also. Does the brain control the mind? That's a question I want you to think of. Does the human brain control the mind? The brain controls your ability to think, to talk, to feel, to see, to hear, to remember things, to walk, and do much more. It even controls your breathing. The brain, the human brain, it controls your breathing. Now, let me look at this. What great men have said about the mind. This is a kind of quotation I vamped out here and there. What great men have said about the human mind. Now, let me tell you about David Koskeri. He says that the mind is a powerful force. It can enslave us or empower us. It can plunge us into the depth of misery or take us to the height of ecstasy. Learn to use your mind wisely. Another person, Anita Cruz, says that your mind is your greatest power. Use it well. I'm sure you know Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. He says the mind is everything. What you think, you become. Buddha also said our life is the creation of our mind. Another notable philosopher in the world, Swami Satchidananda, says that when you become the master of your mind, you master everything. Another one, Swami Vivekananda, said There is no limit to the power of the mind. The more concentrated it is, the more power is brought to bear on the point. Another writer called American L. Nightingale says that whatever we plant in our subconscious mind and nourish with repetition and emotion will one day become a reality. Marcus Aurelius says that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Leon Brown says that it all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you. If you allow it. Let me give you some anonymous, some people that we don't really know who we call anonymous, what they say about the human mind. Your mind is a powerful thing. When you fill it with positive thoughts, your life will start to change. It's anonymous. Another one says that the body achieves what the mind believes. Do you hear that? Your body achieves what your mind believes. A person's mind is so powerful. We can invent, create, experience, and destroy things with one thought. Our greatest battles are those within our mind. Whatever you hold in your mind will tend to occur in your life. We need to be very careful with our mind. Now, how does the mind affect the human body? How does our mind affect the human body? In two ways. The positive and the negative feelings. The positive enhances your person, while the negative destroys you. Your ability to monitor your mind puts you on a better pedestal to put your body in a good shape and make a very great decisions in your life. Now, how can you control your mind? And that is the topic. How can you take control of your mind? More essentially, how can you stop unwanted thoughts? We call it thought stopping. Thought stopping. Number one, you can go physical with your mind by ordering your mind. I have done so much research on controlling the mind. And one of the remedies proffered by some psychologists is ordering your mind physically by shouting, "Stop!" when the mind is engaged in negativity. According to these people, saying "stop" will end the thought. From shouting it, you will learn how to say it within you. Gradually, when you learn it, anytime you find yourself that you are drifting into negativity, that your mind is going haywire, when you shout the word "stop," it has a way of calling your body into attention. Another word you can use, according to John Sinley, is erase and replace. When you say this continuously, it has a way of affecting your mind. It is a positive mantra that kicks up negativity and makes room for positive thought to enter. Other simple and helpful phrase that you find a lot of people say is, "Let's go everything." In Nigeria, we have a word we use every time we will say, "It is well." You know, when people want to drift into negativity, they find themselves quickly telling themselves, "Oh, it is well." And you know what? It will be well. Startling yourself is a good way to interrupt your thoughts. Number two, how can you control your mind? Be aware and be prepared. According to John Sinley in article 7 ways to take control of your mind, when you are aware, you are mentally strong enough to fight off thoughts that you don't want. Negative thinkings happen to everyone. No one that I know can escape the initial trigger of thought. What matters most is that most of what happens to us, especially the negative thoughts, can be controlled. I am not saying that you should become anxious waiting for negative thoughts to arrive. No, it just means that when you are aware that this is a disturbing thought or a negative thought, you recognize when that trigger thought happens and knock it out immediately. Know when that thought happens and quickly tell yourself, no, I don't want this thought in my mind. Find an imaginary thing like the devil to latch on by shouting at it to get out of your mind. Shout to, you can shout. You can shout on the devil and say, don't mess up my mind. Don't mess up my mind. I take faculties. I take charge of my faculty. Quickly dismiss it. The more you are aware, the quicker you grab hold of your mind and take back the control. How can you control your mind? The third one, locate the source. This means that quickly find out where the thought is coming from. Why are you worried? What is the matter? Quickly find out, and start looking for solutions to it. How do this solution come? 1, speak the word. If you are the religious type or the spirit person, you take control of it by speaking the word. Of course, it is the word that you know that you will speak. You cannot give what you don't have. That is why it is good for you to memorize the word. If you are a Muslim, you are not a Christian, I'm sure there are some relevant portions in your book that could help you fight negative thoughts. Speak to your mind to listen to you. Tell your mind to come to attention. Speak to yourself audibly. I have a friend, anytime he's with me, he wants to do something, he will say, now I want to do this. Now I want to do this. Now I want to do this. Oh yeah, I have to do this under 10 minutes. I have to do this under 20 minutes. Later, I found out that he is always trying to bring his mind to attention. My brothers and my sister, always call your mind to attention. Don't allow the mind to call you to attention. You call your mind to attention. Tell your mind to come to attention. Speak to yourself audibly. Once you express it, it has a way of sending the instruction to every part of your body to come to attention. Number 5, find someone to share with. Find someone to share with. There is an idea that says that a problem shared is half solved. Don't box yourself into a corner of your thought such that it becomes a delirium on you. Don't let anything take charge of your mind such a way that it will start giving you instructions. How can you take control of your mind? Number 6, don't always be alone. If you know that you are the type that your mind creates negative thoughts all the time, don't always be alone, or else your mind will take possession of you and push you into harm. Find things to do always, happy things that will absorb you mentally and spiritually. Number 7, how do you take control of your mind? Do a reality check. Do a reality check. Anytime you find yourself lost in negative thoughts, give yourself a gentle pat on the body, like, why are you doing this? Come on, go back to better thinking. It will help you to snap back to reality. The imagination is a strong force when the negative thought cyclones get hold of it. You believe what you think, when in reality it's just a movie you created in your mind. And if you if you are a creative person, your creations are intense, making them more realistic. It could drive you into harm. So it's up to you to wipe out those thoughts and bring yourself back to reality. How do you take control of your mind? Number 8, focus on positives. Positive thinking is another strategy to control your mind. Positive thinking does not mean you are pretending there is nothing wrong in your life or issues, or you are ignoring them, or failing to consider helpful solutions. Rather, according to Kristen Ray Paul in her work, what's this title now? 10 tips to take charge of your mindset and control your thought, published in Healthline. It says that this involves putting a more positive spin on your negative thoughts. looking on the bright side, finding a silver lining in the storm clouds above. Reframing won't change the actual outcome of a situation, but it can change the way you feel about every circumstance. How can you take control of your mind? How can you take control of your mind? The number 9 and the final one is that try focused distraction. Try focused distraction. Christa Repol, in the same article, 10 tips to take control of your mind, says that talks about distracting yourself from negative thoughts to control your mind. According to her, if you are feeling down, depressed of a sort, turn your attention to things you've been meaning to accomplish. Deliberately turn your mind out of it to accomplish other things you have planned to achieve, like finishing a book that you've been reading, cleaning your room, sorting old clothes, and maybe you want to donate them out, spending time with your old ones, listening to calming and uplifting music, talking or maybe taking a walk or talking to friends. This will help you feel you have done something, and it will cut short that period of negative thinking. These are 9 ways of taking control of your mind. Finally, let me speak to you on how we can use the mind power. When you take control of your mind, there's something you can still do, to use your mind for yourself. How can you do this? There are 8 ways of doing this. Number 1, be conscious of what you are putting in your mind. Let me explain this to you. The Superbook says, guide your mind with all diligence, for out of them proceeds the issues of life. Look, the human eyes, the human mouth, the tactile, the ears, the nose, these are gates into your heart. What you allow these things to do or to see, they will affect you. As you are seeing some of these things, they go. You think they don't affect you? No, they go into your subconscious heart, and someday they will trigger up. Let us be very, very careful with what we take into our hearts. Number 2, work on what you desire. Be intentional in everything. Number 3, having the right sources. Number 4, give yourself a drive to learn. When we say a drive to learn, I mean a model, a mentor, someone who is the template of what you want to accomplish in your life. Learn from the right sources. Number 5, be open to new things, to innovations. Be ready to change with improvement coming into your life. Number 6, allow yourself to be creative and to be successful. Number 7, don't let other people's thoughts to influence you unnecessarily. Of course, it's not as if maybe you don't open thoughts to or you don't discuss with other people, but don't let other people's thoughts influence you unnecessarily. When you hear anything from anybody, think of it critically. What this guy has said, is it right? Think of issues critically. And number 8, be around positive people and things. Don't make friends with people who discourage you or belittle the things you desire to do with your life. I believe you have gained something today. This message will be posted on YouTube on our channel. Our channel is eLife Magazine TV. I want you to go there and let your friends know about this. I believe you gained something today. Please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, or you can go to my website, BOLAADEWARA.com. One word, BOLAADEWARA.com. All the videos are there. I am sure these videos will change a lot of things in your life. We call it mentoring with BOLA ADEWARA. I will be coming this way again Saturday, same time next week, and we'll be looking at who is your best friend. Who is a best friend? A lot of us have gotten this thing wrong. When they ask you who is your best friend, you always think it's that very person who encourages you to do just anything you want to do, or your partner in crime. No, there is a paradigm shift. There is a mind shift. We want to look at it. Who is your best friend? And that is the topic we're going to treat on Saturday. I love you all. The Lord be with you. Thank you for watching. Bye.